Hey guys, so I'm on my Lord, let go the handbrake. I am on my way home, and I tried to film this car chat on my way to work this morning, and I was doing the most and saying some very inappropriate things, so I'm gonna have to redo that because it's not appropriate for this channel, even though this is still going to be an adult conversation. So if you are a child, if you're under 21, I'm not giving you the 18 and over either. If you're under 21, yeah, just go ahead now and click that X and we'll talk to you later. Go outside, it's beautiful outside, get some physical activity in and burn some calories. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so my last, well, not my last one, but one of my last car chats, I think the third one before, whatever, the 90-day rule one. I'll leave it linked below so you can check it out. I'll leave the playlist link below too if you want to catch up on my car chats. This is where we just chat, have some girl talk, you know, talk about some things, all right? So I did a video on the 90-day rule, you know, when do you give up the goods, when do you sleep with a guy? And in that video, I said, don't sleep with a guy on the first date. It's just, no, don't do it. And I received a comment on that video that never was published, or I think the person that left the comment deleted it, but it was attacking me or the video or the content, saying that this double standard for men and women, why we should, you know, we shouldn't judge a woman for being promiscuous, you know, it's just as a guy being promiscuous, he's praised, while a woman is called a slut, and it's unfair, and da-da-da-da-da, which, I get emailed the comment, so I get the actual comment, so that's how I know the comment was there, but when I went to the video, it was deleted. That's not here nor there. Then someone else responded, me and Queenie Rosenblad here on YouTube, she left a comment, I responded to it, and then someone commented on that thread, and they called me a female misogynist, okay? And how they can't believe I'm on my channel spreading this self-hate, and how a woman, if she wants to sleep with a guy on the first date, then that's her, she should be allowed to, and she shouldn't be shamed for it. And how if that person had a daughter, and I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, because to me it sounded more like it's coming from a guy, but anyway, that if they had a daughter, they're gonna teach her that her body isn't some holy temple and her hymen is just a piece of skin, and she should just go out there and sleep with everybody. That's the summary. I am paraphrasing, obviously, but anyway, that's the gist of the comment. And I'm just there like, bitch, what? Come again. What you say? I am a female misogynist. Now, if you know what a misogynist is, it's someone that hates the female race, has prejudices against females, blah, 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 blah. Now, whatever. Not that you can't have female misogynists, okay? But I'm female, and it's very hard for there to be a female misogynist, especially one that purports women empowerment. I'm all about women, you know, living up to all their potential and doing what men do, and don't let your gender define you. You can do and achieve anything you want to. You can be successful, you know, push for it. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm a female engineer. Talk about me pressing into a male-dominated field and encouraging other women to do the same. How am I, whatever. We're not gonna touch upon that. But to tie in with the person before that said there's a double standard between men and women, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with that there is a double standard, and it's unfair that a woman or a girl can sleep around and be promiscuous and be labeled as a slut, but if a boy or a guy does the same thing, he's considered like a player, like it's a positive thing, almost, because not all the time, but he gets more leeway. Like nobody really judges him no one judges him as harshly as they would a female counterpart. And I absolutely agree. There are double standards, period, across the board when it comes to the male and female gender. And for this one, I'm kind of two ways about it. Like, I feel two ways about it. I don't completely agree with the double standard, but on some points I do. And I'll tell you specifically about sleeping around and having sex with everybody. Tom, Dick, Harry, Joe, Frank, Josh, all of them having sex with all these men, the father, the son, and the grandfather, plus 2 other cousins in the same family, and feel like you shouldn't be labeled a slut. I'm sorry, but what do you want me to make it sound sweet? Do you want me to say, oh, you're just promiscuous, or is that too harsh a word too? Should I just use a word like curvy to make you feel better about yourself? You know, should I do that? And that's another word I can't stand. But anyway, that's not, no, we're not gonna go there. But should I kind of dress it up so you feel better about yourself? Because if you're a male or a female sleeping around with multiple partners, just left, right, and center, you're a slut. In my eyes, you're a slut. I don't care. It's not like you've had 5 boyfriends in your life and you've slept with the 5 of them and they were actual boyfriends. That doesn't make you a slut. But if you sleep with everybody around the block, you're like the test dummy girl that everybody can push their dick in, then you are a slut. If you just lay with anybody anytime, to me you're a slut. Likewise, if you're a guy that as a girl walks by you, if she breathes too hard, you're penetrating her, you're a slut. Point blank. Period. I don't care. You're a slut. And I know many sluts. There are many sluts in my family. Oh well, you just are what you are. And here's where I disagree with the double standard. The standard should stand. You're just a slut. You can't just, if you run around sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, then please rest assured that that's the label you're gonna carry, and you just have to live with it. I don't think you're a player. I don't think you're some Lothario, like you're some playboy. You're a slut. Point blank. And if you get paid for it, you're a whore. It just is what it is. Here's where the double standard pisses me off. No, that's where the double standard pisses me off. Here is where I agree with the double standard. Women, there's penis and there's vagina. There is dick and there is pussy. 2 very different parts. Yes, we can all agree on that. Very different parts. One extends from the body. So the male phallic implement extends from their body. It gets hard, they stuff it into something, they penetrate something, right? A woman instead has a cavity, a hole, an entrance, an entryway where she is penetrated. So a woman internalizes during sex. Yes? Yes. A man penetrates, right? Okay. Now, when you internalize things, you feel it differently. Like a woman, depending on how well endowed the guy is, can feel it to the depths of her stomach. Like, you feel that, okay? It's a different feeling. You feel different afterwards. It just is what it is. Your parts don't quite just fall back into place afterwards, even though they love to tell you, oh, it goes back, it stretches and it retracts. Yes, it absolutely does. It's not gonna go back to its original state. That's why when you lose your virginity, you break your hymen, blood, all that stuff. You're really tight. You have to get used to having something inside. You used to get used to that to being penetrated, and you expand. And it's not gonna retract to the original. I don't care who you think you are. Oh, you think tight like me, no, you have the gumption and it grip. No, sweetheart, because if you take a 10-inch dick today and you're like, ow, 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 it hurts a lot, and then you know you go take an 8-inch dick, yeah, it's gonna feel fine. It's not gonna feel any different. But if you keep taking that 10-inch dick, guess what? It's not gonna hurt as much as the first time. So what does that tell you? You have expanded to accommodate, okay? To accommodate. So it does expand based on what you're taking in, okay? If you take a 5-inch dick all your life and then all of a sudden you take a 10-inch dick, it's gonna hurt. Again, like you're almost losing your virginity again. Probably not just the length, but more so the width. It's gonna hurt it's gonna hurt again, and as you keep taking it, it's gonna hurt less and less. Why? Because your body's getting used to it and is conforming to that size, okay? Anatomy, that's what we're discussing, okay? Period, blank. So a dick pretty much changes you to some extent. I'm not going to be all that drastic, oh, it changes you, but it does affect your anatomy, okay? You internalize that. And when a man climaxes in you, he comes inside you, that cum is all up in you, okay? You have to drain that out, and it will take a couple of days for it to completely be out. That's why you can get pregnant a couple of days later, because the swimmies are swimming all slow and stuff and they didn't get to the egg just yet. So you can still get pregnant up to how many days? They have something that says so many days after you can still get pregnant from live sperm. Anyway, boom, right? Also, research has shown, and I don't know how many of you guys know this, but do your own research and find the studies that show that a woman is more likely to get an STD from a guy than a guy is to get it from a woman. So because we internalize anything that happens inside us, if you have semen inside you, you can get an STD quickly from an infected person versus you have an STD, having sex with a guy and giving him the STD. A lot of things have to align for him to get the STD from you. Not that it's impossible. Obviously, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just, it's harder. It's more difficult for him to get the STD from a woman than a woman is to get it from a guy. Okay? So again, another way sex impacts our lives a lot more than it does a man. Okay? We also bear children. We bring life to this earth. So talk about the biggest impact. There it is. And with all that in mind, I don't see how you can compare a man fucking a bunch of girls to a girl fucking a bunch of dudes. When you're on Maury, not knowing which man out of 10 men is your baby's father and you're getting all these DNA tests, I can't look at you as anything more than a slut. I can't. A man can wash his dick and walk away and not think about you twice. You carry that man with you after sex for a while. Okay, so don't look at me and tell me it's the same thing and she should be able to do the same thing a guy does. You can't. Not based on your physical makeup, based on your anatomy alone. It is not the same thing. It's not apples to apples. It's fucking peach to banana. It is not the same thing. In the same family, you kind of are all both a fruit and you give probably some of the same nutrients and vitamins, but it is not the same thing. And you cannot, honestly, I mean, society, aside from society's little stigmas that are attached in religion and all that stuff, besides all that stuff, let's think about it logically. You cannot compare the two. It just makes no sense. And yes, society is gonna label you, society holds women to a different standard, yes, and judges women a lot more than men for sexual, promiscuity. And I'm okay to an extent. So I both agree and disagree with the disparity. I agree and disagree with the double standard. To some extent, I completely agree. I wouldn't, if I would never, ever look at my daughter and tell her, your body's not a holy temple, so you can just fuck and be free. No, actually, for you, value yourself and your body. And this goes to male and female. Value yourself and your body, and don't just give up your body and your sexuality to just any Tom, Dick, and Harry, Joe, and Teresa, and Jessica, and Tina, and Laverne, and Shirley. It's just, no, just don't do it. Just, you have to value yourself. And women, again, also receive things differently because of our chemical makeup and the way we think, the way our brains function. We think differently, and we go through things differently. And for a woman, she gets more emotionally attached during sex. Now, I'm not saying that a woman can't be detached. She can't have sex and just be like, okay, on to the next. Absolutely, absolutely. Anyone can freaking do that. If you have the right mind frame, you can be like, yo, this is just sex and it is what it is, and we keep it moving. But women are more likely to get attached during sexual escapades than a man is. Not that saying that either sex won't get attached, but a woman is more likely to get attached because of her hormones and her chemical makeup. It just is what it is, right? But a woman, we internalize sex a whole lot. Oh, what else? I want to police. I want to. Lord have mercy, I forgot to reroute. But it's good to reroute every now and then. Change up your routine. Anyway, so a woman internalizes sex a lot more. So you cannot say it should just be the same blanket across the board, okay? But on the other hand, because I have all kinds of points, on the other hand, I do believe a woman should explore her sexuality. And that doesn't mean sleep with a dozen men. It doesn't mean don't sleep with more than one guy. It doesn't mean stay a virgin. It doesn't mean, oh, go have sex with Shirley over there. No. Exploring your sexuality. You know, women, again, the way we set up, we are not likely to climax the first time we have sex. Yes? It is some of us take years before we figure out how to climax. So this whole 50 Shades of Grey, where, what's her freaking name, Anastasia, all of a sudden she's a virgin, and yo, she does free up and she doesn't even touch herself, but all of a sudden she's a sexual being and the sexual vixen, and she's coming left, right, and center, and when he tells her to come, she comes. What kind of fairy tale is that? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be open with you, and this is where I got vulgar in the last time I tried to record this, but I didn't experience an orgasm or a climax until how many years? I would say 7 years in. I never experienced a climax. My boyfriend might have thought I did, but no, never did, sweetheart. And it took me so long to learn myself and my body and how to really enjoy sex and let myself go, and what really, you know, stimulates me. It took me a while to get to that. And it took me not being with my first boyfriend and being with someone else who knew or who touched me different for me to actually experience a climax, right? So your first boyfriend may not be the end-all says-all, and that's why I think women should explore their sexuality. Not saying sleep with everybody till you find someone that really does that, you know what I mean? But explore. Also, self-exploration, self-love. Touch yourself, masturbate, watch things, research things. I did so much research. I read so many things, instructional videos. I was all in it, okay? Look at porn if you have to figure out different things that are done, because you don't go into sex knowing what the hell sex is, especially if you're not with an experienced partner that can't guide you and walk you through things. You won't know, you know, what's enjoyable and what's not. So explore, you know, find things. And I'm not saying to sleep around, but do your research. Read. The internet is full of information. Read. Ask your friends. Ask people that you trust. Go ahead, figure it out. Touch yourself if you need to. Get toys, you know. try to figure out what kind of stimulation you need. Do you need it hard? Do you need it soft? Do you need a pinch? What do you need to really get revved up to that point? And sometimes it takes you sleeping with a couple extra people. You get what I'm saying? So I am not a virgin. I was never a virgin. I was not a virgin when I got married, though we want to pretend that I was. I'm not an angel, but I wasn't over here just slinging it. Everybody that came my way that wanted to sleep with me, I slept with. No, that was not me. I valued my body a lot more than that. But at the same time, I wasn't an angel that was saying, oh, I have to save myself for marriage. No, I want to figure things out. I want to, because at the end of the day, it's your body and you're the one that's going to live through your experiences, and you're the one that needs to enjoy sex. I don't think a woman should sit down and just please her husband or her man and not consider herself. I think a woman should be a sexual being and should embrace all these feelings and feel all the feels and enjoy sex. I think sex is a very enjoyable thing when you're with the right person and you know you're in the right situation. It's very enjoyable, and I think women should embrace it and enjoy it and not feel kind of, what do you call that, restricted, and feel like they can't explore their sexuality because they're going to be labeled as a slut. No, openly explore it. Just don't explore it with 50 different men, because that makes you a slut. Okay, being sexual, being flirtatious, enjoying sex doesn't make you a slut. You're a slut when you sleep with someone. As soon as they buy you a Happy Meal, you're spreading your legs. Okay, you need a snack, you need a Tutti Frutti, oh, they bought you flowers and you're just spreading your legs. The first day they took you out to Mickey D's and you could get the super size and you could get cheese with them, with your sandwich, and all of a sudden you're a spread eagle taking dick, and then his friend wants to have sex too, and you're like, okay, that's what makes you a slut. And I don't take that back. I don't care, you're a slut, okay? But being a sexual being and exploring your sexuality and enjoying sex and actually like openly enjoying sex and having fun with it and doing different things. You might use toys, you might get dressed up, whatever, with that a special person. Why not? Be free to explore it, but just be mindful. I don't care, man, woman, I don't care who you are. Just being all free with the goods, it's just, no, it's just not cool. But don't think that you can run around sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry and no one should judge you, because if you were a guy, they wouldn't judge you. You know what I mean? Don't be misled. Don't think like that, because it's not true. And then after everything I said, pile on to that what society thinks. And this person that commented said, oh, who cares what men think? Really? Who cares what anybody thinks? Who cares what anybody thinks? But at the end of the day, you still have to look yourself in the face and realize that you will be judged. Regardless of how you want to shun society and their labels, you will be judged, and you're gonna have to live with that and deal with that. So if you want to be that rebel, you're still a slut. But I mean, more props to you, have fun with that, but it's just not my way. So yeah, I think I said all I wanted to say, or most of what I wanted to say, and that's about it. Enjoy your sexuality, be safe, wrap it up, please. Don't be bringing kids into the world and spreading STDs. It's not cool. So stay safe, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.